about cloud services. So the definition is cloud services is a platform as a service, and it's designed to support applications with high scalability and reliability and easy to operate. Okay, some of the advantage about the cloud services is the load balance. So Windows Azure by default has a load balancer. So when we create a cloud service, we can see, for example, the virtual machine 1, 2, and 3. This is our application, but it's replicate 3 times. So Windows Azure by default it creates a load balancer. So when the user make a request, the load balancer will choose the virtual machine. For example, the request 1 will be with virtual machine 1, and then 2, and then 3. And for example, if a virtual machine has a lot of CPU, for example, we'll choose the virtual machine 2 or 3. So this is one of the advantage. And another of the advantage is the scalability and high availability. For example, this image shows the metrics or the different way to create the scalability. For example, we can create scalability by metrics. For example, in this image shows the CPU. For example, when the CPU gets to 60% and 80, this is a range, for example, between 60 and 80% of the processor, the CPU, we will create another instance. So when the CPU increase between 60 and 80, Azure by default will create another instance, and in that way we can has high disponibility, high availability. Sorry. The opposite is not recommended to write in disk. Why? Because by default Windows Azure creates another virtual machines, but when the CPU gets normal, for example, the another instance or the another virtual machines will disappear. So it's not recommend to write in this because that information will be loose. And other is the configuration is not taken from the appconfig or webconfig. We need to um, remove that, and then we need to take the Azure config and not the appconfig or webconfig, because if you put the configuration on the webconfig, you cannot modify later when you publish the application. You cannot um, change easily the web config. It's not recommended. Sorry, it's not recommended to have application when you need to install some libraries. Um, that's because when you create a publish, you cannot install something. For example, we used to use the CryptoSys, but it's required to put a serial a key, and that is not possible in Windows Azure. Kind of service. We have two types of cloud services. We have web roles, that is application in MVC, APIs, web form, web services, etc. And we have the worker roles. It's very similar to Windows services. It's an application who has iterations between um, a time, a period of time. So publish a cloud service from Visual. In this image we can see the solution. And when we have a cloud service, the project has this icon. You need to right click over the project and then publish. So then you need to put your credential. For example, you are signed as Everpena. You need to choose your subscription if you have more than one, and choose the cloud service, the environment. For example, we have two environments: production or staging. And build configuration release, service configuration cloud. This is because we have two service configuration, cloud and local. Local is used to when we are running the application in our local machine. And then the other way is to right click over the project and then package. We choose the service configuration and build configuration and then click and package. So then we need to into the Portal Azure. We need to choose the cloud service and click and update. So we need to choose the package and the configuration. Metrics and alerts. Azure has metrics by default, and for example, we can see two metrics here. Well, it is one, but we have two roles here. For example, WSSFDI and email async worker role. We have two instances, two projects here, and this is the metrics about CPU. And in the other way, we can create notifications, and that will send you an alert to your mail. For example, the metric is about CPU percentage, and the condition minor than, major than, and this is the value, and the unity. For example, this is percentage. And you can take actions. For example, send an email to the administrators and the co-administration to this service. This is some advice to migrate an Azure application. You need to prepare all the logic for the application should run in both environments, in like in an Azure environment and in the traditional way. When you click and publish, you go into the server, you create an application, something like that. Why because when you are working with TFS or something like that, you need to maybe during the transition you need um, to create another release. So if you are preparing the logic for running in both environments, it will be better in the developed environment. You need to check that every DLLs that are necessary um, are in the package. That's because sometimes some DLLs are not quite necessary, and in the traditional way the application will run. But when you are creating the package Windows Azure for an application in Windows Azure is warning you about some DLLs. For example, this DLL is not in the package, and the worker role maybe uh, doesn't run quite well. So when you are creating the package, Microsoft Azure is telling you about something like that. So when we are creating the package, we need to put attention about the warning that Windows Azure is warning us. And try to delete all the libraries that you have to install. That is because when you have external libraries that you have to install, um, is complicated to make it work. You can, it's possible, but it's complicated. So if you can do with native code from the framework, it's cool. Try to remove the disk write, and instead try to use the table storage, blob storage. That is for logs and the files. So the logs you can use the table storage, and if you need to create files or something like that, you can use the blob storage. And next, the practice. So we will create a cloud service from zero, from the beginning. Create a cloud service from an existing project. We will see settings of Azure settings, computer emulator, publish, remote desktop, metrics, alerts, and scalability. So let's move on, and we will end in manage. So the first one is okay. We have this project. So for if you need to create a new um, cloud services, for example, we can right click, new project, and we can choose cloud, and we select cloud service, click and accept, and we can choose ACP web role, worker role, worker role, or worker role. So before I talk about two kinds of roles, so we can see five, but just exist web role or worker role, web role, worker role, worker role, and worker role. So we will choose a web role. That's it. that. And we have our cloud service here. So the project creates two projects. This is the web role. You can work like you always work. This is your application. You have your web config here, your web config. You can work normally, but this Azure Cloud Service is the wrapper from the web role 2. For example, this is a onion. This is the onion here, and you can create the settings of Azure settings. You click in settings, you can create a settings setting 1 value, for example, and you will see this configuration on the Portal Azure. So this is the first point, is create a cloud from the beginning. Create a cloud from an existing project. For example, we will create an application. Another web role. We have here, when you have an existing application, for example this web application 2, and you have the needed to upgrade to a cloud service, you can click here and you can right click on the project, right click on the project and click and convert to a Microsoft Azure Cloud Service project. Click here and we have the cloud service from an existing project. So settings Azure. So like I said before, you can click here settings and you can put a value here. So when you enter to the Azure, you will see these settings. So you need to use these settings. Now computer emulator, for example, when you install the SDK, Azure SDK, you can see the computer emulator. Now we will see the publish. So we can click here over the project. Let me stop that. We can create here publish. same sign as Everpena. We can create a new cloud service. Or region. Okay. And we will select remote desktop, so we can click here, select a username, password, confirm password, and okay. Advanced settings, everything's okay. And we can click and publish, and it's building the application. And then we can see Microsoft Azure Activity Log, so we can see all the warnings, for example. And I told you before, we can see all the process here, what's happening. In a few moments it will be on Azure, so we need to wait a little. Okay, here is all the process, initializing the web role. So now we can see the application here. This is the name of the cloud service. So we can see here this, and we can inside of our Azure portal, and we will see our cloud service. We make a click here. We can see the configuration panel. You can see here the setting 1. Here we have the setting 1, and we can select the application here, and we can click on connect, and we can click here. Windows Security asks for our credential. And now we can go inside to the virtual machine. And here we have the cloud service. Every instance is a virtual machine. So this is the example. We can go inside, we can see the application here, and in E we can see the app root. This is the application here, and the site root is here, instance 0, and this is all the application. You can modify here the web config, but it's not recommended. It's recommended to use this panel, the configuration, and you can use the configuration panel. So it's all for me. Thanks for your attention. If you have comment, you can write to everpena88@gmail.com. So thank you so much. See you later.